Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Adgrodcast. I'm Adam.
It's a special edition!
That was Graham, and I'm Rodney. And it is a special edition. I'm being forced and pigeonholed into one idea for 10 minutes. Here it is. Well, that's karma. Karma's a bitch. Have you heard things like this over your lifetime? Do you believe there is a force out there that dictates the direction of your life based on the decisions that you have made previous? Well, you'd be half right. Don't think of it so much as an entity or a mythical, mystical being, but more of an organization formed by the most powerful people in the world. Greater than the Illuminati. Greater than the pharmaceutical companies. I'm talking about Big Pharma. Way up high in a grand skyline, through the window pane, a man is in high, pain in his mind, what there's to do with the future of Russia, who invaded into the Ukraine state, tried to push them down, and they tried to take their lands and their territories. What will be the future story? Well, these 8 humans decide the fate of the world's most horrible crimes. And before we get to the end of the line of this, at this present time, let me go back and remind exactly where Big Pharma was. In the days of feudal Japan stood one man, an average man of average size. He'd never catch anyone's eyes. He was doing his job every day, bringing to his family his work and pay. And he gave his heart and soul to the lord of the feudal camp. And by oil lamp, he'd read to his young child Gigi and Luigi and Mario too. That's the names he gave them. And in the dark of night, he'd look to the sky and to the stars, and he'd ask to himself, why is this my station in life? Is this the best I can give to my kids and my wife? How come there is a king and a queen and a prince who don't even shy away, don't close their eyes and don't wince at the chance to step on the throat of the people? They sit so high and look down upon the church steeples, 'cause they think they're higher than God or above. Well, that's not true. There's a greater kind of power and love. It's deep inside my heart, and soon they will see that there is something bigger than themselves, a greater entity. And he swore to himself that day and that night, with all his power, with all his strength, he'd make everything right. Well, don't you compare him to Batman. His father never owned a single plot of land. He gave up everything that he cared about, everything that he loved, and he was thinking all about how he could punish the king, punish the queen, punish the prince for the terrible things that they've done and the terrible things that they've did. So late at night, he'd watch the castle and think about how the plan would go down, how he'd bring about their demise. And then one night he realized, as he followed the king, he had a little bit suspicious. So the man, he started to draw because they didn't have recordings back then. Nothing at all. And he drew what he saw with his own two eyes. And he brought it to the people. And he showed the king's lies. And the king lost favor with the people at that time. Fast forward 1 century. Another time, another place, an entirely different face, but his bloodline you can trace to that song from olden days. Well, hopefully you were listening, cause I'm not gonna give you backstory at all. You know exactly what this family is doing and why they do it at all. It's about karma. It's about what's right. It's about making sure that you don't hide it in the dark of night. Cause every single thing you do will make out exactly what happens to you. And if it's not fate, then it will be this dedicated family. So it's very similar to like Assassin's Creed, but it's more like social Assassin's Creed, which is actually hilarious now that I say that out loud, and thank God I did. This is why we need to talk more. There have been many stories, there have been many things that have happened in this family, and where you find it now, we don't need to share every single one for you to know why. They have been instrumental in directing the path of the world. You know your precious John Hughes films? Well, they funded those, which pretty much dictated how children acted from the 1980s on to the early 90s. Presentation, yeah, there's money in film. I have dedicated our funds to every single film made by John Hughes, yeah, cause I gotta get to the youth, yeah. Teach them exactly how to be through the ages of 18. Well, that's what the movies they seen. John Hughes films. John Hughes films. John Hughes films. John Hughes films. Well, in the internet boom, this family realized real soon that they could touch so many more faces in so many different spirits and places if they just invested in a website. A website? What's that, they said and exclaimed with glory. That's just the beginning of the story. You know how many minds we can touch online every single time that a powerful man or a powerful chick, they get out of line and they get in it thick. We just put it on the social stitch. That's what we call it right now. There's a place called MySpace. Everyone's got their own thing that they can race. Any race. I'm just looking for rhymes. On MySpace, we will see exactly what they are doing in their private times, cause they don't understand the line. Social cues are what to do on a social network who lets you be who you are in the dark. In the internet, they realized people love drugs. They love them. They're like the best. Doctors prescribe them all the time for different things. Sometimes organs, sometimes pain. So basically what I'm telling you is that what started out to be a very altruistic thing, fighting in the name of karma, they sold out. Now the most powerful people in the world pay Big Pharma to ruin the lives of all of us for just the smallest things. You know, they used to focus more on big things like defrauding the public, invading territories that weren't theirs. I keep looking at Graham. He's like having a problem. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Keep playing. You're fine.
Big karma has led to arthritis.
Big karma. We all go through the worst of times. What is happening? We're not always our best selves. I work all day in the social mines. That's what I call the gap where I fold the sweaters on the shelves. I have to talk to people all the time. Sometimes I'm not the best to be around, but I don't mean to take it out on you. Maybe give me a minute, let me play some modern warfare 2. I will get it out digitally, and then you will see a different, more attentive man, much more happy. Yeah, I didn't mean to yell, and your meatloaf tastes so fucking good. I never had one like it before. So please don't curse me or myself. Didn't mean to throw that plate. It fell out of my hand to the floor. And then karma comes in and ruins my life because I'm over there yelling at my girlfriend. Sorry, that is bad. That is equally as bad as what Russia did. I think that's the moral of the whole story. Russia invading the Ukraine is as bad as losing your mind after working 9 hours at the Gap.
Yep.
Is that it?
That checks out.
Is that 10 minutes?
Thanks, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
can't tell. He's using another metric again.
Thanks for listening.
This has been the Adgrodcast.
Make sure to subscribe.
See you next week.